And we are
It's 5
live.
o'clock.
5 o'clock on the nose.
When I
Well
was going
done.
through system settings to mind map them all, I found a setting where you can have the clock announce the time on the hour. And I turned it on, and I don't remember where I found it. I could use my mind map to find it, but it just went, it's 5 o'clock, right when you said you were turning it
Oh,
on.
did it?
It's actually kind of nice to keep track of time.
I'm getting a loop.
What's a loop mean?
Yeah, are you hearing this loop, folks, in the chat room?
What is a loop?
Meaning our voice is repeated, delayed by about 4 seconds.
No, but the video's frozen. Bruce says no, all good. I'm not hearing a loop.
So I'm listening to the YouTube stream, essentially. I'm not listening to Discord. How about anyone? Are you watching Discord or listening to Discord, Bruce? It sounds like it may just be.
You mean Discord or?
That's YouTube. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I need to quit. Oh, it's looping on Discord as well, John?
No looping in Discord.
No looping. Anyone on YouTube? Does everyone on YouTube or who are listening on YouTube hear the loop? Maybe no one's listening on YouTube.
Are you hearing Are you getting the loop on your own voice, Steve?
Yes, both of our voices.
Ooh.
It's about 5 seconds.
Maybe you should stop and start it up.
Yeah.
I know that messes everything up.
No, I can do that pretty easily now. So I'm going to
Okay.
quit and come back in.
Okay.
All right.
Now I can talk to the live audience without Steve hearing us. Well, actually, maybe he can hear us because he might still be in Discord. Let's see. Steve, are you in Discord? Doo-doo-doo. I just checked YouTube and it was fine for me. Oh, I can hear you in Discord. I have no video, only on YouTube. Okay, I am hearing you on Discord, Steve. You're not in YouTube, or you're not in StreamYard yet. Okay. Video on YouTube.
Interesting. I'm wondering if this is a Discord.
Oh, now I hear it. Now I hear the doubling.
The delay?
The doubling. That's not going to work.
Wow. How did that happen?
Should we both get out?
I'm going to quit Discord and come back in.
Oh, wait. No, never mind. Hang on. I have Discord on. That's what's wrong. Hang on.
You have it on?
Yeah, I was listening on Discord while you were gone. So now I bet I hear you once. Talk.
I'm talking now, but I still hear doubling.
Okay. I am not hearing
By doubling, I mean a delayed version of our conversation, delayed by 5 seconds.
Like an echo?
So let me quit Discord. All right, do I still hear the delay?
Do you hear the delay? Can you hear me, Steve?
I can hear you.
And do you hear me once or twice?
I'm hearing you twice.
With Discord stopped.
Yes.
So John says he's not hearing it.
Wow, how does this happen? Yeah.
Sandy says it's not.
Hold on. I think I know what might be happening. You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Did you have it open in another browser?
I had YouTube, yes. Okay.
Steve.
Problem solved. Never mind.
Never mind.
Let me get Discord back up. Boy, that was annoying.
Okay.
Is Discord? There we go. Give me a moment while I bring it up. You're still hearing me, right?
Yep, I still am.
Good.
Silent, but I see him talking.
No.
What does that mean?
Here.
Go
Okay.
back to Discord audio.
I think we are good.
Okay. So if I do any recording for Thanksgiving week, it won't be very long.
Oh, they don't hear me in Discord now? Seriously?
Good job, Steve.
Okay. Reconnect. How about now? Do you hear me in Discord, Sandy? Great. Okay.
Who's Andy?
Sandy.
Oh,
Who's Sandy? Well, that could be interpreted a couple
who's Sandy? Who's Sandy? So I'm not sure there will be a live show next week.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because we're going to be down in San Diego the whole week, and I've already got stuff in the can. I'm not sure what I would do in a live show.
Oh, you're saying there's not much live content.
Yeah, so I guess keep an eye on Slack and the other social media channels. Better let Zoe know. Yeah, that's for sure. She'd be sad. Yeah, I don't.
We'll announce it.
Does everybody here get the notification? Like, do you see it in Slack, another place? Update calendar. I really should. I hardly ever run into somebody who pays attention to the calendar, so I don't think of it. But okay, I will write myself a Post-it note right now.
Those always work for me.
Calendar for live show. Okay. But Post-it note, that gives us a 3% chance of success. Mm-hmm. I mean, at most I would write one thing and I could read that and you guys could talk to the kids the rest of the time. Okay. Well, roll call.
Yeah.
Kevin and Bruce and Jill and Lynn and John and
Sutter.
Pie Man Sutter. Thank you. And Ron Hybe, like Einstein, and Sandy. No Zoe. All right.
No Zoe. She told us she couldn't make it. Anyone else in the sidebar we miss? Well, we miss you all who haven't joined us, but who is here now? Apparently not. Okay, we can move on.
Hang on. Wait, that's the wrong Post-it note. Here. I have to send Kevin the Post-it note. I know he wants it through snail mail, but that's not how he's going to get it. There. Okay. Print it out and stick it on your TV. Okay, I think we are ready. Managed to fool around for how long?
About 7 minutes.
Okay, better get going. Saving. There we go. All right, here we go. All right. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, and this is show number 1072. And Zoe should be here because this was from Zoe. She did a lot of the work on this. I got to do something super fun this week. Daily Tech News Show has a show called Live With It, where Sarah Lane chats with a member of the DTNS family about products they lived with for a long time and still really like. I got to join Sarah in an episode named Personal Climate Control. I have two products, one to keep me cool and one to keep me warm, that I swear by rather than cooling or heating our entire house. You can follow the link in the show notes if you want to watch the video version, or you can subscribe to it in your podcatcher of choice, of course. If you do listen to it or watch it, you'll even get a quick heat transfer lesson.
Just to be clear, we can heat and cool our entire house if we really want to. We don't use...
I think people know that we have like a heater.
Okay.
I believe that's a fairly standard thing.
It may even be required by code. I don't know.
Civilized world, right? All right. Oh, shoot.
What?
I can't show off one of the things I'm going to talk about.
Want me to go get it?
No, it's at Apple.
That's right. Do you have any picture? Did you take a photo of it? I can go
Yeah, there's
grab it
photos. Yeah, there's photos in the article.
I mean, okay.
But it's
I'll
more
post
impressive if you can rotate it in front of the camera. It looks better, but it's not going to happen. So just to be clear, I want to make sure this is true. I did not already talk about slick wraps on the show, did I?
At least not this application that I am looking at. I don't recall this.
They have heaters in Southern California. Oh, yeah, we turn them on when it's like 68. So actually, we might not need to have a fire soon, Steve. Okay, Sandy would remember if I'm wearing my battery-powered vest right now to stay warm. And that is one of the two things, the Aurora heated vest. Good job, Sandy. All right. Aurora rocks. Yeah, I've decided to ask for a jacket for Christmas. All right, here we go. Oh, happy music. That looks too close to me. Heated socks. When I explained my journey trying to get AirPods to work for me and how the AirPods Pro 3 finally stay in my ears, I bemoaned one thing. The Beats Fit Pro I had came in a lovely stone purple, think kind of a lavender, but the AirPods Pro 3 only came in white. White is fine, but it's kind of boring. The other odd thing is that my AirPods Pro 3 case is already showing scratches. While the earbuds themselves have hit the ground several times, I've never dropped the case. Seems like it just scratches setting it down on tables and counters, which is kind of disappointing. As I thought about this over the last month, I thought maybe I could get a skin for them to make the AirPods purple. While little cases are easy to find, skins were far less prevalent. I didn't want anything that made it thicker or heavier, so I kept hunting. Then I came across a well-known name I'd forgotten about, Slick Wraps. They sell something called AirPods Pro 3 Retro Color Series skins that come in a variety of colors, including purple. I was looking for something simple, just a one-color skin, but the Slick Wraps playfully have a 6 colors Apple logo. But that's not all. The product also includes skins for the AirPods themselves. Learning how to apply Slick Wrap. Is Pieman actually over Oregon? Oh my gosh. You are actually on a plane right now? That's crazy. That's fun. Learning how to apply Slick Wraps is crucial to success. And annoyingly, the installation video for a particular product is very difficult to find. On the Retro Skins page for AirPods Pro 3, the only link was to their Instagram Reels page. From there, I could scroll through and find the AirPods Pro 3, but it turned out to be just a flashy video of how cool it would look if you succeeded at applying this. From there, I could scroll through and find the AirPods Pro 3, but it turned out to be just a flashy video of how cool it would look if you succeeded at applying the skin. I hunted around some more, thinking, why is this so hard? And I found a page called Install Videos with some text advice on how to apply dry and wet skins. Well, I had a clue which I was buying, but below the text, there's a giant grid of installation videos for different products. I couldn't find the AirPods Pro 3 Retro skins specifically, but they did have one of the ones for AirPods Pro 2, so I figured that was close enough. After watching the video, I knew immediately that I would need Pat Dengler's help to apply them. I paid the $19 to buy them and set up a play date with Pat for their arrival. I'm going to skip to the punchline here. Applying a flat sticker to a rounded object is nearly impossible to do well. The first 3.5 minutes of the video showed someone applying and reapplying the skin. Every edge alignment, like for the hinge, every little hole, like for the light to shine through, and every corner piece was laid down several times. The corners were the worst, though, because you need to use a hairdryer to make the flat piece malleable enough to wrap around that rounded corner. When Pat and I did it, we did not succeed in 3.5 minutes. In fact, we didn't succeed in 45 minutes. Technically, my case is now purple, and it does have the retro 6 Colors Apple logo, but if you look at it closely, it looks like a 6-year-old applied the skin, maybe a 4-year-old. None of the edges align well at all. There are overlaps in some areas where it should be, touching edge to edge. There's gaps that are too big in others, and there are wrinkles everywhere. One of the challenges of applying slick wraps with a hairdryer is that not only does the heat make them malleable, but then they actually stretch. So it's possible to get overlap on opposite sides because you've stretched it to be too big. After working it together, we took turns pushing the wrinkles out with a fingernail and credit cards like they suggested, but the end condition was no better than when we started. The slick wrap skin I bought also comes with wraps for the AirPods themselves, but after the disaster that was applying them to the case, Pat and I gave a hard no to the thought of trying to apply skins to the almost spherical earbuds. The slick wrap skin I bought also comes with wraps for the AirPods themselves, but after the disaster that was applying them to the case, Pat and I gave a hard no to the thought of trying to apply skins to the almost spherical earbuds. Maybe I should have spent 1 minute trying to apply them and just taken pictures of how terrible it would look. Anyway, if you look at my case from far enough away, it does look kind of cute. But in the hand, you can feel every single terrible edge of the wrap. Even where it's aligned properly, there are gaps where you can feel this scratchy edge. I find it really annoying. The bottom line is that I definitely would not recommend trying to apply slick wrap skins to curved objects like AirPods, unless you're far more meticulous and patient than I am, and you don't care if it feels scratchy when it's done. But don't give up on slick wraps altogether, because I bought a second product from them and it worked out great. When I bought the M2 MacBook Air, I didn't worry about all the reports that the Midnight Blue model was a fingerprint magnet. I'm blessed with very dry fingers, so I don't get many smudges on things like an iPhone screen. I assumed I wouldn't have that problem. I could not have been more wrong. Now, the newer models of the MacBook Air have an improved surface that supposedly they show fingerprints less, which validates that there is a problem with the M2. When I was perusing the slick wrap site for the skin for AirPods Pro 3, I came across what they call their Naked Series skins. These are skins that don't change the color or add graphics or any of that silliness. The one I chose was the Ultra Matte Wet Application Naked Series skin. Now, my MacBook Air looked terrible pretty much all the time. Not only would it get covered with fingerprints, but even when I tried to clean it, it showed every single smear from the microfiber cloth. I put a picture in the article for the show notes that showed how smeary it was right after cleaning it. You can also see that I had an adorable Ally Come on. You can also see that I had an adorable rainbow Ally sticker on it, too, that showed my support for LGBTQ folks, as well as accessibility, because it's actually A11Y, all in one sticker. I got that from the Silk Tide folks during an interview last year, I guess it was, at CSUN, and I loved that sticker. But I had to give up my sticker in order to apply the Naked Series skin. It didn't come off particularly well, and even with Gooby gone, it left a sort of shadow on the laptop cover that kind of bummed me out. The process of applying the wet Naked Series skins was massively easier than applying the skin to the AirPods Pro case. It makes sense that it was easier since it's a large, flat surface. You can buy these skins to cover the area around the keyboard on the inside and even the bottom, and I imagine those might be a bit more challenging. I only cared about the fingerprint side, so it made life easy. Steve is pretty good at this kind of work, so he took charge. The wet application skins come with a flat little squirt bottle filled with soapy water. You squirt this soapy water all over the top of the laptop, peel the skin off of its backing, squirt the sticky side all over with soapy water, and then you lay it down on that wet, soapy surface of the laptop. As you can imagine, with all this soapy water, it just kind of slides all over the place. What was surprising was how easy it was for one person to hold two corners in place while the other person used a credit card wrapped in a glasses cleaner cloth to wipe out the bubbles. In short order, the bubbles were gone. Except for one pesky one right around the Apple logo. We worked and worked and worked on that bubble, and all we could seem to do was move it around the logo. I should mention that they sell a version with a cutout for the logo, but my logo had some fine scratches on it, so I wanted it skinned as well. The final step is to let it dry for 6 to 8 hours. We decided to put something slightly heavy on the logo in the hopes of maybe convincing the bubble to dissipate. After 8 hours, we took a look, and we were delighted to see the results. That one tiny bubble around the Apple logo changed into a rim bubble all around the logo. You see, the logo is just a very, very slight and smooth bump above the top surface, so the skin kind of pulls away around the edge, but it does it uniformly in this very thin edge. Now picture a black matte Apple logo that's got a glowing white around it, including around the stem of the apple. It's absolutely gorgeous. But enough about how cool the logo works. But enough about how cool the logo looks. My MacBook Air now has this lovely matte finish that collects hardly any fingerprints. After about a week of use, even including a trip to see the grandkids, I noticed a few minor smudges on one side, and when I looked at it under bright lights, nope. But enough about how cool the logo looks. My MacBook Air now has this lovely matte finish that collects hardly any fingerprints. After about a week of use, including a trip to see the grandkids, I noticed a few minor smudges on one side if I looked at it under bright lights. But a quick swipe with a wet towel and it dried back to a perfect sheen, unlike how hard it was to get the cleaning marks off before. Now, if you look closely, you can still see the shadow from the sticker I removed, but it's not nearly as noticeable as it was before applying the naked skin. Not only does my laptop look beautiful, it feels fantastic. I find myself sliding my hands around on it because it feels so good. I mentioned on the AirPods Pro skin that I could feel the edges of the skin and it was annoying. On the MacBook Air, I could definitely feel the edges on the edges, but it's not a natural place to move your hands all the time, so I don't really notice it in regular use. The MacBook Air 13.6-inch 2022 M2 Naked Series skin normally costs $23, but they're on sale right now for $20. Like I said, I bought the wet ultra matte version, but you can also get a wet gloss version or a matte dry and semi-gloss, both in the dry version. Sorry. I thought I could make it to the end. The bottom line is, I would really think hard before trying to do a wrap on a non-flat surface. Consider how patient you are, how much time you have, how much you really care about changing the look. Maybe just get a cute case instead. Or if it's AirPods Pro, consider getting the Beats Fit Pro in a cute color instead. But if you have a laptop, especially one of the fingerprint magnet MacBook Airs, I can highly recommend getting the Naked Skin from Slick Wraps. I can't speak to how the MacBook Air Naked Skin will wear over time, but for now, I'm deliriously happy with it.
So there's the dry version as well. Is that different in that once you put it down, you can't shift it?
I have no idea.
That's my guess.
As Dave Hampleton likes to say, I've told you more than I know.
Oh.
I love that line. I wonder if my voice is going to hold out. That was everything I could do to get to the end of that.
And this next one's a little longer, isn't it? It's not too long. You got a lot of graphics, but
yeah. Brett said I'm sweet. That's what he said back to my Mastodon post about it. Haven't had our autumn voice problem? Yeah, I know. Knock on wood, Joe. All right. Brett Terpstra is my hero. Brett is such a cool guy. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm still basking in the glory that is my mind map of doom, trademark Donald Burr, of every single dang setting in macOS 26. In my how and why I did such a crazy thing post, I told you that Brett Terpstra was instrumental in making the mind map actually useful to present on the web, and that I would tell you the story someday. That day is today. On Thursday, November 6th, around noon, and the timing's going to be important here, I sent Brett an email asking him about my mind map and asking him if he had any advice on the best way to present it on the web because it was an SVG. Now, don't talk. Oh. On Thursday, November 6th, around noon, and this timing will be important, I sent Brett an email telling him about my mind map and asked him if he had any advice on the best way to present it on the web. I explained that I had a Markdown version, an OPML version for outlining apps, and I could present it with HTML, but that didn't feel right. I wanted it to also be the real mind map in a pretty format, and more importantly, I wanted it to be searchable. He asked me some great questions and even uploaded my mind map to a collaborative mind mapping service called MindMeister. It wasn't quite what I was looking for, but his questions made me think more about what I was looking for. I tried to put myself in the eyes of the viewer, not my own eyes. It's not all about showing off what I did. It's making something useful for you. While I think it's impressive to look at a comically large and unsearchable PNG image, it doesn't have any value whatsoever to people who just want to figure out where Apple hit a particular setting. As we noodled, I figured out I could export an SVG version of the mind map. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics, which means that no matter how far you zoom in, the image scales while staying crisp and sharp. Oddly enough, an SVG is actually a text file, and it describes the paths to create the image. An SVG would be the perfect format to post this giant mind map to the web. But embedding an SVG into a blog post proved to be trickier than I imagined. Brett's first idea was, and I'm quoting here, I bet you could pretty easily embed the SVG in a container and then use a tiny bit of JavaScript to center it, just to avoid people assuming it was a blank image, because the top left-hand corner was blank. Now, Brett is a professional developer and could execute that maneuver with his eyes closed. I explained that I would run off with my friend ChatGPT for a while and try to figure it out. Brett offered to take a swing at it if that path didn't work. After a couple hours of arguing with my pathological liar friend ChatGPT, I had made no progress. I had several problems to be solved, one of which Brett referred to. The SVG export... The SVG exported from MindNode left that giant white space at the top that I talked about. So when first viewed in a browser, you would assume you just had a blank page. It was only by scrolling around that you'd eventually discover a small portion of the mind map. I uploaded the mind map to ChatGPT and I asked it, clean things up so the top wasn't empty. The resulting file didn't have the white space, but it only allowed me to pinch in part way. After abandoning that whole path, ChatGPT told me to embed it in my web page with an image tag. But that turns it into an image, so it's not searchable. Next, it suggested an inline tag for an SVG with some style provided in CSS format. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, which is the way a website can have consistent formatting for headings, links, graphics, etc. without specifically formatting every item. I wasn't sure how this path would work, but I decided to give it a go. ChatGPT wanted me to paste the entire text of the SVG file between the opening and closing div tags. You don't need to know what a div tag is to understand this, but just all of the text, and there's a lot of text to make this image. This SVG file is 7,596 lines long, and it probably took 30 seconds just to paste the text into my WordPress interface. Worse yet, this massive text dump pretty much brought WordPress to its knees. After thinking I'd saved the post in draft format, when I tried to view the preview, a message popped up asking, "Do you want to leave this page?" That's WordPress's way of telling you, you have not actually saved the page. I gave up on following the suggestions from ChatGPT at this point. Now, you'll remember I mentioned that I first asked Brett for advice at noon on Thursday. Friday morning at 8:21 a.m., I told Brett that I had failed in my efforts, and he was good to his word and agreed to take a look at a way to solve this for me. The first thing he did was run my SVG through an optimizer. I had no idea these things existed. Not only did the optimizer fix the whitespace problem at the top, but the file size went down from 3.8 megabytes down to 1.5 megabytes, so less than half the size. I didn't know which optimizer he used, but a quick search revealed that there are quite a few web-based tools out there to provide this service. I found one called svgomg.net, and it has a whole bunch of toggles to help optimize your file the way you want. If you want to see one, you can go look at this one to see what these kind of tools can do. Anyway, so I wrote to him at 8:21 a.m. His reply came in at 9:40 a.m. And in the same message about the optimizer, he wrote, "So I'm now about 80% of the way through building you a WordPress plugin to 1. Enable SVG uploads to the media library. 2. Add a shortcode to insert SVGs into posts with attributes like height, initial zoom, max zoom, zoom increment, etc. 3. Display a viewer in a post or a page with zoom controls and a centering button. 4. Considering building in handling for MindNode SVGs that automates the process of fixing the view box and optimizing the SVG, but that might be a version 1.1 thing." Now you know why I've been giving you timestamps. I wrote to him at 8:21 a.m. on Friday telling him I made no progress, and by 9:40 a.m., a mere 1 hour and 19 minutes later, he was 80% done writing a WordPress plugin to fix my problem. So, at 1 minute to noon on Thursday, Brett sent me a link to version 1.0.0 of his BT SVG Viewer WordPress plugin on GitHub. I put a link in the show notes to that. He referred to this as a rush job, but it wasn't just a link to download some code to put on my website. It was a fully documented plugin. I'm talking about a README with everything you need to know how to use the plugin, including changing the presets for zoom and height. With his plugin installed on Podfeet's WordPress and a few variables defined by me, the viewer could now see an embedded SVG with buttons to zoom in and out, center the graphic, and reset to the original position. It was a beautiful thing. Over the course of the next day, Brett released 5 more versions of the plugin. With his first version, I had to calculate where to center the image when it first came up, and then plug those numbers into what WordPress calls a shortcode. A shortcode is just some text between 2 square brackets with key value pairs. For example, to start a zoom value of 50%, you would write zoom equals, quote, 50. It was a bit tricky to figure out where to center the SVG. I had to know how tall and wide my SVG was so I could calculate the values. As he iterated on the plugin code, he removed even that tiny bit of friction. By version 1.0.5, the plugin allowed me to enter all of the values by hand. I could use a preview pane with the same zoom in, out, and center buttons that the viewer would see, and once I got it the way I liked it, I could then just press a button that says Use Current View for initial state. This removes the burden of figuring out where the center is and entering zoom start positions iteratively until it looked right. There are so many easily understandable controls in settings for Brett's SVG Viewer plugin that it took 2 long screenshots to put in the show notes in order to illustrate what you can do. In the configuration screen for BT SVG Viewer, he's even got a help page. And I don't mean a 3-line get you started help page. I triggered that too much. In the In the configuration screen for BT SVG Viewer, he's even got a help page. And I don't mean a little 3-line get you started page. He included a table of contents to walk you through installation, a quick start, and a reference guide to the shortcode, and 7 more sections. I asked him, how did you manage to write all of this in the elapsed time since we started this project? He explained that he gives ChatGPT his PHP code and tells it to write the documentation. As his next step, he follows the documentation steps written by ChatGPT, and that helps him find bugs in his code, all while checking that the documentation makes sense. Isn't that brilliant? So Brett's plugin is amazing, and it does so much more than I ever could have dreamed of asking for. It makes me want to go create some more SVGs. Hey, I wonder if I created separate mind maps for each of the 30 top-level sections, whether they would be even more useful to people since they'd be each more manageable. I know how to embed them now with Brett's SVG Viewer plugin. I have to think about whether that would be useful. Brett Terpstra is a gift to the tech community. In barely more than a day, he had written, documented, and published a plugin for WordPress that solved my problem. The plugin will be available soon from the WordPress.org plugin repository. If you want to get the plugin or peruse his other open source code, go to github.com/ttscoff. That's TTSCOFF. Link in the show notes, of course. Now, here's the thing. Well, Brett is a friend of mine, and I successfully tickle his brain with the problem I was trying to solve. He actually codes for a living. Along with writing his own apps like the terrific Markdown viewer Marked, he also recently launched a consulting business called Bear and Glass, specializing in Apple and Unix-based automation, and he'd be happy to help you or your business. Bespoke WordPress plugins are definitely an option. Did I stumble too much at the end of there?
No, I think it was okay.
Okay.
You know, if you if you embark on the top 30, you realize that these are going to change here in a year. Is that
Oh, I
worth it?
wouldn't be recreating them. They exist as branches already. I'm saying I can export one branch at a time. So I got to export an SVG
Just
where
divide it
everything's
up.
collapsed except for accessibility, and everything's collapsed except
it.
for keyboard.
Got it.
This is company logo. Nice, John.
All right.
Okay, that's the end of the heavy lifting here. You know, I don't remember ever fixing the typo you told me about in the slick wraps thing.
Did
Sandy?
I tell you? Oh,
No, Sandy did, and I realized that as I was reading it, that I don't remember fixing it, but I didn't see it either. I thought it was around when I said a PNG. Do you remember that, Sandy? There was something about.
I don't see PNG in the document.
Oh, sorry, it's not in the Brett story. It was in the previous one, in the slick.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no,
looking
it
at
was in
Slit
that
Wrap.
one. It wasn't
I was looking in.
PNG. So I said, well, I think it's impressive to look. Oh, there it is. It should say look at A. I forgot the word A. I found it. Okay, I fixed it. When I got to that word, I was like, wait a minute, didn't she tell me to fix something there? Okay, let's see. Support the show. This is going to be a short show, which is lucky for my voice. I think
Short
I
live
may have
show?
figured out how to, for live show. We will not be going long. All right. Are you enjoying the NosillaCast, Chit Chat Across the Pond, and Programming by Stealth? If you are, consider supporting the shows by going to podfeed.com/Patreon to give a monthly donation. Did you know it can be $1 if you want? That's all I ask for all this tech goodness.
Sorry, I didn't mute there. I thought you did Taming the Terminal. Is that coming out later?
So, yeah, let me tell the story of Taming the Terminal, because this is kind of interesting. So I don't know if everybody here knows about Taming the Terminal, but we haven't done a Taming the Terminal in 5 years.
We as Bart and you.
Yeah.
Just, well, people, you said not everyone knows.
Yeah. So we did 40 episodes, and at the end of the 40th one, Bart said, we're pretty much wrapped up in a bow here, but we're not going to close it out because there might be more that he ends up wanting to say. So this week he said, I want to do another Taming the Terminal. Now, the problem is Taming the Terminal has had an interesting past. It started as part of Chit Chat Across the Pond. So all of the technical stuff I've done with Bart used to be embedded in Chit Chat Across the Pond. So I would do, whenever it was introduced, it would say, this is Chit Chat Across the Pond, but it's also Taming the Terminal, and then Taming the Terminal. It was very, very messy. So after we wrapped it up in a bow, Steve said, we really should make this a standalone that people could get the entire thing in its own feed. And he did a whole bunch of the heavy lifting. He did a lot of work on it. And in that time frame, then that's when I first met Helma and talked to her about the idea of making it a book. So we actually have a book. Wait. Wipe my own glasses off. See, it's a book. No, I rolled over this is a bad idea. There we go. Headphones are loose. So anyway, we made it into a book that is an online book, but you can make a printed version. It's on Apple Books. It's in Amazon. It's everywhere. Anyway, so there's this great website it's built, but Helma did a lot of work to automate how that gets done. So Bart says he wants to do another episode. Bart and I can't remember how to post to it now. So we we were able to make the recording, and then I had to go, okay, so where's the music for that? And I found it on our Synology. Steve had found new music for it, and so I put that in, and then every episode has a new separate intro. So all of the episodes had to be reintroduced because the beginning of it made no sense. And Steve actually stitched all those together. And so I had to find a segment, like the front end of one of them, and clip that out and then run it through Mac Whisper to find out what the text said so that I could read it again for the new one. So I did that. Now I've got the audio file. We got the text file, but the original episodes were all in HTML on the web. They needed to be downloaded, converted into Markdown, and then from Markdown into something called ASCII doc. So Bart said, well, let's make it easy. Let's just write the notes in ASCII doc. And then he had to remember how to write in ASCII doc. So we got that done. But now we don't know how to make it go to end up in the book. And so we're waiting for Helma right now to do that for us because we don't know how to do it.
Before you publish.
Yeah, I can't publish it. Because, I mean, I could publish the audio feed, but you can't get to the show notes. They're not there. They don't exist anywhere.
Is that the one that you're putting on archive.org? Or no?
Yeah. So I don't know why we decided to do that. But yeah, the audio files actually live on archive.org. So technically, you could go listen to it if you wanted to, but you can't see Bart's show notes, which kind of, that's not quite what everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
How's that for an answer for your question?
Boy, I won't ask another.
Right? I mean, it's fun to talk about. Yeah, notes on taming the terminal are pretty important, but it's an interesting one. It's on how to protect secrets when you're typing into the terminal. So if you're, need to give a password or something like that, if you write a command, you're doing shell scripting in the terminal, you need to have some way to have it not remember your password. Anything you type into the terminal goes into a history file that's stored in plain text on your Mac or your PC or your Linux box.
The only thing worse than that might be if large language models started picking that up and incorporating it.
Why, it's funny that you should mention that because we use, Bart and I are both using a terminal called Warp, which has a built-in AI. Oh, it's really cool. I'm not wild about the interface, but you can put in a command and it'll let's say the command barfs and it's just like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You can say, why didn't that work? And the AI will go, oh, well, because that flag you put in there, that doesn't mean what you think it means. I think you should probably do it like this. And even while Bart was doing the lessons and I was trying to type in things that he said, I would type in something Bart said to do, and the next thing it would suggest would be what Bart was about to suggest from the show notes. It's like we were reading in variable names, and so read this, and then it would say echo, and then the variable name typed out. So all I had to do was hit tab to follow along with his instructions, which was crazy. So anyway, yeah, Steve's point is, if you typed in a password, that would get hoovered up by this AI, which could go back into the training data. So probably don't want to do that. So that's the story. But anyway, where am I? Security bits?
Security bits.
Let's go find some audio files. In last week's show, I said, or in the show notes, it said that Bart did not write a blog post for his secure use of AI. And I was wrong. I forgot that he did.
Oh.
That he wrote a blog post. So it was only published today. I meant to mention that. Oh, well. So it's in the audio file now. There's a link to it, and it's on the blog.
This is last week's NosillaCast?
Yeah, last week's NosillaCast that had Bart talking about AI and how he's using AI securely.
That right, was embracing AI while retaining my privacy. That one.
Yeah. I meant to mention that up front, and I forgot. Should I do that now? Yeah, I think I will. It's going to be a mess. All right. glad you posted that because maybe I'll just steal that as a chapter mark right now. Huh? Can I copy that link? No, come on. Don't make me open it. That makes me open a browser, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right click on it. Copy message link.
Yeah, I don't want to copy a link to the message. I want to.
Oh, I see. There's no copy. Oh, down below, copy link. Down below, delete message.
Okay. Well. What happened? I didn't mean to do that. Wanted to do that. One moment, please. Okay, I'm going to wing this. I need to make a really quick correction from last week. You heard Bart talking about how he embraced AI while retaining his privacy. And if you looked at the show notes in the feed, in the audio feed, or on the web, it said that there was no blog post for that. That's because I forgot. Bart had written an entire blog post, and I only published it today. So I'm putting a link in the show notes here this week. It's also in the show notes from last week, and it's been embedded in the into the audio. Well, what am I trying to say? It's not. It's
chapter mark in the audio.
No, it's not in the chapter mark in the audio. It's not in the chapter mark in the audio. It's just in the show notes. So I'm
a link in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm trying to be specific in which show notes. So I'm putting a link in the show notes here this week. It's also in the show. I also put it in last week's NosillaCast show notes. And if you look in your podcatcher of choice, there is a link to his blog post, backwards compatible. So I have corrected that mistake. Sorry about that, Bart. All right, close enough. So that's going to be confusing because that's not in these show notes.
This one, yes. So it'll be another chapter mark.
Right, but it's not in these show notes here.
Right. That's okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll go put it back in. We'll see how I feel. All right, here we go. Oh, let's see. Oh, you got to. Here's your plank, Steve. Listen up.
Listening.
Blink.
There you go, Bart.
I swear you talked over it though, didn't you?
No, I can hear. You can do it again though.
No, you can't have it twice. All right, you need to go there. All right. Let's see. Let's hear how this sounds. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Busschots, and all I got to say is Happy Fibonacci Day, Bart.
Oh, how did I not know that was a thing? Is that only with your calendar?
Well, it's 11/23, which is the first 4 digits anyway, so they call it Fibonacci Day. So however you celebrate, Happy Fibonacci Day to you and yours.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. I know Pi Day. This one I like. This is new.
It'd be more fun if, like, the year did something, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess to set the listeners up, we don't have a huge amount of security news, so we...
Are you unmuted, Steve, or is there creaking on Bart's chair?
No, that's me. Let me
okay.
mute.
Okay. We got to oil that thing.
We have a nice little deep dive, and we have one little bit of follow-up before we get stuck into that. It's not that long ago, it's only a few weeks ago, Google announced a big change in how they were going to manage their app store, and they were heading for an Apple-style thing where in order to get your app to run on Android, it would need to be digitally signed. So even if it wasn't through the Play Store and if it wasn't vetted, you would be able to tie a human being to the app if it proved to be malicious. So... You know, it was an attempt at
it's a good thing,
locking down. I thought so. The open source community went crazy, like completely, totally, and utterly crazy. So Google have backed down.
So, I mean, don't we have that on the Mac, right?
It's still theoretically possible to turn it off. If you turn off the... Oh, no, I think you have to do it app by app. You have to do it one by one, yeah.
Right, you have to say, I want to trust this app even though it's not signed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of should be difficult because if it's easy to social engineer people, that's how regular folk hack themselves, right? So much stuff today is getting you to hack yourself. It's much easier. Right. So our deep dive then is I guess a security adjacent story because it definitely affected the availability of much of the internet for a while.
Including podfeet.com, so I'm sure that's what really shocked most people.
Yeah, and bartbushots.ie. So yeah. And yeah, lots of sites, right? People noticed that it was down. So Cloudflare, who are a major provider, had an outage. And I'm a Cloudflare user, you're a Cloudflare user. So the two of us had our websites briefly off the air. And I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, I bet you're regretting that." No. No, I'm really not. In fact, if anything, I think this is a great reminder of just how much I love Cloudflare.
All right. Cutting you off there. That gave me the time to write that correction in the show notes, though. So now it is in the show notes. All right.
Does that mean I can see it, or is it uploaded yet?
Yeah, it's in. I think so. Okay. Yeah. If you refresh, and you're not editing.
I got it.
Feeder's acting weird. I'm getting some slowdown. A little odd. Okay. Well, wait. Forgot his Bart audio icon.
Stay secure.
Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Before I go into my ending spiel, I'm not certain if we're going to have a live show next week. Not because we're not available, but because I'm going to be playing a lot of pre-recorded content, and I'm not sure I'm going to have much to say. So if you love the live show, make sure, keep an eye on all of the different social media feeds where Steve posts whether or not the live show is up. It's in our Slack, and I think he posts at other places as well. And I have a post-it note here reminding me that Ron Hybe says, make sure you update the Google Calendar for the live show before if we're not going to have the show. So there's a third way, but then I'd have to remember where I post that. But good luck. Maybe there's a link in the show notes by the time you see this on whether or not we're going to have a live show. All right. Now we're going to wind up the show for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeet.com anytime you like? If you have questions or a suggestion, just send it on over. I love getting email from people. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You can follow me on Mastodon at podfeet.com/Mastodon. If you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube, you can go to podfeet.com/YouTube. If you want to join the conversation I just talked about in our Slack community, you can do that. Where do you go? podfeet.com/Slack. In there, you can talk to me and all of the other lovely NosillaCastaways, not just me. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeet.com/donate, where you can buy me a cup of coffee with a, Apple Pay or any other credit card. Or if you like PayPal, you can do it there too, podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, keep an eye on the feeds to find out if there is one next week. Head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. That was a long one. All right.
Good show.
Thank you.
With some real-time correction updates.
Yeah.
So now I'm supposed to...
And stay subscribed. Yep. Kevin's saying count. I get 6 too.
Excellent.
It's a miracle. Export. All right. I think you go there and you go there.
It's hard to type when you do that.
Wait, have you got cat?
Yeah, got Grace.
Wait a minute, where are you? Can I see? Oh, yep. What is it about cats when they do that they need to go directly in front of whatever you're trying to look at?
Mm-hmm. Or
I
on the
swear.
keyboard.
Yeah. I saw one video of somebody who got their cat their own little laptop, like that they could smack around.
Just a fake one.
Yeah, a placebo.
Placebo.
All right. Does anyone have any other final words of wisdom for us? Other than eat a lot of turkey, have some pie, relax, kick back, have fun. Ew, Sandy. I don't know about that one. Oh, I didn't see the little dog.
Oh, that's a dog? I thought it was a turkey leg. Oh, I see.
There's now you're playing it.
Oh!
Oh, I didn't see the ending. What happened?
They basically took the little dog by the head and put it in the box.
Put it away?
In the box.
That's mean. Hey, I heard today that I heard on DTNS that on TikTok there's going to be a slider for how much AI you want.
Just went silent on me.
I did?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay for you folks in Discord? No silent. Okay. So, John, you watching YouTube? Because I'm listening on YouTube. Anyway, am I silencing or just Allison? Just Allison. Okay.
I think we should call it.
I think we should. That may be it. All right. Bye, all.